So, hello everyone. This is CEO in the Making, episode 18. So, if you made it, then you have seen episode 17, Excuse Specialist. So, this one is for people who are willing to invest. So, this episode will be called Investors. So, we're going to call this episode Investors. And this all relates to being a business owner. This all relates to entrepreneurships as well. And we have people of different types of business and different type of industries, skill sets, and abilities and talents and tools. If you were listening to episode 17, then you know this is the second part of episode 17. And this is the part where you actually get curious about what you need to invest in to get to where you need to go. And if you have not been at the stage of wanting to exit the place that you were once in to get where you need to be, then you probably aren't ready for this spot. This is for people who are ready to win, people who are ready to overcome their obstacles. They're done complaining about it. They're done talking about it. They're ready to do something different about it. They're willing to do the work. So that's what we're talking about today. So I created what is called the I Don't Know workbook, which is to destroy the excuse of I don't know where to start with my destiny. You know, often we have that excuse because we don't want to know. Okay? It's just flat out, I don't want it bad enough, therefore I don't want to know. And I don't think that if I do know, that'll make a difference, because you can know things and do nothing with it. I've done that myself. And when I overcame that part of my life, I realized, wow, what a waste of time. You know, I wasted so much time. I could have just learned this and just did what I needed to do. And sometimes being who I am, sometimes I can be a person that can be like, man, stuck in that spot of why didn't I do before? But guess what? It doesn't matter. That's taking up my time too. Self-pity taking up my time. I don't have time for self-pity. But I have time to do what I need to do. That's what I do have time for. That's what we do have time for. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some work. You know, we're going to do some brainstorming. We're going to think outside the box. You know, we're going to use some examples of different industries that we can talk about the things you would need for those industries. I'm going to use industries that I've already worked in so I can kind of be more, clear and accurate in what I'm saying. So again, why would someone not be ready to know what they need to do for their destiny? You don't even ask, what is your destiny? You're not even really seeking the Lord about that. You're not even really seeking, who is your inspiration? Mine is the Lord Jesus, living for God, the Word of God. What is your inspiration? I'm curious to know. What is your religion? Let me know. I'd love to know. And it's a way for me to connect with you. And also, I completely forgot to say this, but if you want to sign up for a free session with me as your life coach to help you with this workbook, then I am offering you a free session. You go ahead and click the link in Calendly. It will be in the description of this episode, and you will be able to click that link, sign up for a session in my availability during the week, and we'll have that 30-minute conversation about where you need to be. And then I'll tell you what program you are privileged to attend in my program with me, so that you can know how much it will cost. Fair enough, right? So again, you can't stay where you are. We talked about that last time. You got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You got to get tired of being at that space that you've been at for the last 1,700 years, right? Not that you lived 1,700 years, but man, mine's 33. I mean, there's things I haven't done that I've always wanted to do, right? But this is where the Lord has me, so I'm doing life coaching and ministering and prophesying, amen, and all those things. So that took courage too. It took courage to do all of those things. It did, okay? And I talked about ownership, owning where you are, right? Where you are is because the decisions you made. So if you haven't made a decision to exit that place and find out, like we are to doing today, what do I need to do? What I gotta do to get where I need to go? Okay, now you're in the right spot. Get your wallet out. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. If I could tell you the number of items I had to purchase to be a business owner, to have the mindset that I have. My mindset is expensive. Can I just tell you that? The way I think, my attitude, my disposition in life is expensive. It costs me something. So it's going to cost you something to be where you want to be. And I say something because it's going to be weighty. It's weighty. But I'm grateful. I don't want the money back. That's how you know you got your breakthrough. When you don't want that money back. You're like, I am so glad I invested. I am overjoyed that I invested in myself. Wow! You can feel the electricity in the room. Got around people that I would never be around if I had not invested in myself. Traveled to cities I've never been around because I invested in myself. Did things that God asked me to do at the time He asked me to do them because I invested in myself. Learned how to train others and help others, encourage them in the area of coaching and leadership because I invested in myself. I invested in an executive coaching certification program. And I have the seal to prove it. I mean, I can literally show you. I can show you. It's, please excuse the fact that it is, there was a little, anyway, I'm not even going to talk about that. This is my certification. You see the seal right there? You see that seal? You see it? It's sealed. Sealed forever, right? It's a CT9. I have to get a new frame. Forgive me with the crack. But you get the idea. You get the idea. It cost me something. The frame cost me something too. Okay? It all cost me something. And you know what? I'm going to reframe it. I'm going to get a beautiful frame. And it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be awesome. I own that mistake. I dropped it. I ain't going to lie to you. I did. I dropped it. But it's okay. Because I'm moving forward. Right? You see, I'm not staying in that self-pity. I'm moving forward. I'm like, all right. You saw that. But you have your own. You do. Okay. So, guess what? That cost me something. And I don't want that money back. I don't feel like I wasted it all. It is the way I was able to help others because of that training that I can take with me to my grave forever. And it will live on in those women forever. Because it transformed my life. And it brought me to a place and a state of mind that I always needed to be at. And that's where it comes from. You don't get to a spot that you've always wanted to be at by just waiting for it to come to you. You got to fight for it. You got to fight for what you want in this life. You got to fight. Fight out of the place of excuse specialist. Fight out of that. That doesn't have to be you. I used to be that. I told you in that episode. I had every excuse known to man to not work out. Every excuse, every single one. I had got hit by a car. I had a valid excuse. I'm not physically able. But it's been 4 years since the accident. Are you sure that's a valid excuse, sweetheart? Laziness, right? Just lazy, right? But it wasn't that important to me also. So that's another thing you have to overcome to get to where we are. Are you now ready? Are you all aboard to hear about I Don't Know Workbook and hear what you need to do now? So if you are at the stage of overcoming excuses, then let's go to the thought-provoking questions and then we'll get over to I don't know. Because I don't want to leave you behind. What plan do you have in place? What plan do you have in place to convince yourself that the excuse is not valid? Have you invalidated your excuse? Have you invalidated it? Have you said it's not valid, it's not important, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to move forward anyway. Next question. What will you physically have to do or have to say to take the first step? Is it a job application? Is it the amount of schooling you need to do that you don't want to do? What is the step that you are avoiding taking? Interesting. Next one. Set a date on when you are going to take action on that destiny. Why can't it be today? In case you want me to do that Today? Yes, today. There's something you can do towards your destiny today. You could buy a journal, okay? I went and bought this at CVS for $3.99. Buy yourself a journal. Write down your goals. It doesn't have to be that fancy. Mine's fancy because I love journals, okay? I got fancier ones than this one. I got a planner too. I think I have it somewhere, you know? And I got books, right? If you ever want to overcome excuses, because, you know, work ethic wise, right? You got 10X rule. Got this one for free. I only paid shipping. It was free, completely free. See, I took every resource available to me to get to where I am today. Free and paid. Free and paid. Anytime I was in a webinar and they said, do you want to upgrade to VIP? I said yes. If it was valuable, if the coach was valuable, you know, if they were giving valuable information, then yes, you know. I was desperate, you know, to get where I needed to be. I didn't want to be a zero income earning business owner. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be. I didn't want zero revenue. I was like, I need revenue. This is not going to work for me. So that's where you have to be at. Desperate. The next question, I think it's the last question. No, I already asked you that question. Why can't it be today? Why can't it be today? What can you do? If it's exercising, if it's health, can you take a walk for the first time today? Okay, can you write down the grocery list and eliminate all of the unhealthy foods that get stuck in your stomach so that you can detox and lose that weight? And you can lose 1 pound in a day. I've seen it happen. But you got to be disciplined to do it. Last video, I said, if you're not working out, you better have your nutrition tight. I mean tight, okay? And when I say tight, I mean restriction, okay? You ain't eating everything because you're not trying to work out, right? So everything in moderation is a great diet. I think it's a wonderful diet, but it's not good for people who struggle with emotional eating. They don't know when to stop because they don't see food as sustenance. So they're not going to just eat enough until they're satisfied and just know that measure. I don't know that for myself, so I couldn't do that. I couldn't use that as my tool. I can now start to use it because it's been like 4 months and I have practice in it, but it was not easy. It was not easy. Okay? So the reason why I took you through the Overcoming Excuses workbook was because I wanted to make sure we got through it. We didn't get through it all the way in the last episode. So I want to make sure that you know all the steps because we're getting to the I Don't Know workbook. So the I Don't Know workbook is actually going to ask you, what is your destiny? What are you in the dark about in your destiny? And what should you know to accurately fulfill destiny? Like what measure of what's the measure of what you need to accomplish for it to truly be destiny, like you really in destiny? And ask the expert in your fields. You can even get a coach in your field, someone who's doing what you do. If it's a coach, you can come with me because I'm an expert in that, right? So then you ask me, okay, what do I need to be a life coach? Where do I need to get certified? Okay, go to coachtech9.com. That's the first step. If you can't go to coachtech9.com, we got a problem. If you can't go and type it in on the web address right here because you're too scared, we got a problem. We got a real problem. And you got to dig deeper. Why'd you come to me if you're just not going to do what I'm saying? The next thing is you got to go ahead and find out how much that is. Can you even get a quote? Do you have the courage to get the quote? That's what you need to know. And then when you get the quote, do you have the courage to raise the money? You see, we're talking numbers. We're talking specifics now. How do you quantify that you're really in destiny? Okay, you got the coach certification. That's wonderful. How many clients do you want a month? You have to quantify that. Okay, how much marketing do I have to do to get that? And what am I offering? And what packages and what are my prices and all that stuff. You know how you get there? You have to want it bad enough. I'm talking to somebody who's already invested 1,000 plus into their coaching certification. Now they're on their way to opening their business and their practice. They have to get a website designer to do their website because they are willing to invest in that. They have to get a branding person so they can brand themselves rightly so that everybody knows who they are and their trademark. And then they got to get the licensing, the LLC, sorry, and they can go to ink file to save their money. Like all the things. I'm telling you this. But this won't matter if you don't really want to come out of them excuses. If you're at the place where you truly want to know what that is for your specific destiny, go and hit that link and book that free session so I can help you. I take full responsibility of this situation for you, and I help you and I guide you. We will have a plan, we'll have a structure, you'll have your playbook, I'll have my playbook. We're going to get the work done together. You're not going to just be in the dark about your destiny. That was one of the questions. What are you in the dark about your destiny? The next question is, what will you physically have to do and have to, okay, that's the wrong one, sorry. The next question, the third question, I already asked that question, right? What should you know to accurately fulfill destiny? Quantify it. If you're a believer, right, did the Lord say you will speak over 150,000 people or nations, right? You will speak to 206 countries. You will travel XYZ around the world. What would you have to do to create that kind of impact in what you do? What kind of skill set would you need? What kind of schooling would you need? What kind of mentor would you need? And what kind of connections would you need to get there? And how much are you willing to raise for your plane ticket to the First Nation? See, the specifics are here. They're here because we're excited to do our destiny. And I'm excited to write down the quote, even if I can't afford it today. I'm going to make deposits from every paycheck for it because it matters that much to me. It's when it doesn't matter to you, you won't even get to what I'm talking about. You won't, because that would require your time, your energy, your efforts, and your resources. So, you're telling me already how you feel about it. You're telling me already, by not wanting to hear this information, that you don't truly want to overcome the excuses. That's what you're telling me. And that's what I would be telling my coach if I was slack in my work, if I didn't want to work out when I wanted to work out, if I didn't want to eat right when I was supposed to eat right. That's what I'm telling her. I don't really care. I don't really care about my goal. I don't really care about what I came to pay you for. I just want to waste your time. That's what it is. That's what I would be telling if you were my coach and I was doing nothing and I was just sitting around wasting time. That's what I would be telling you. And that wouldn't be fair to you or me. I mean, you got your money. I'm the one hurting myself. You know, like, well, if I'm going to invest that kind of money into my development, I might as well take all of the training, all of the work that I need to do to get there. Might as well commit to it, right? Like, don't get yourself off the hook. Don't tell yourself I can just relax. I told you my funny story about me overeating in keto and eating keto snacks to the point to where I gained all my weight back. Like, I told you my story. I told you how embarrassing it was. My family members trying to tell me to work out. I didn't want to work out. It wasn't until I got a life coach that I decided, okay, I'm going to work out. It shouldn't have to take you millions to do it. But sometimes a person like me be hard-headed, okay? So it's worth it. And I couldn't trade my development for the world. I said last time, I was like, my mindset is expensive because I invested in it. I didn't get to this place where my disposition is the way it is out of nowhere. It took time. It took effort. It took strategic moments. It took brainstorming. It took all of those things. And still, I had to fight my flesh. I had to fight my excuses. Every day I have excuses to do nothing. They don't just die, but I get that. I get back in there and I know my why. And I remember my why and I'm like, no, this year is the year that I'm going to impact more women and men. I'm going to impact more people. I'm not going to give up. Right? Like I can go shopping in my closet because I lost 28 pounds. Stuff I couldn't fit for years, I can fit it now. Because I said I love myself enough in the last video to go to the gym more than 52 times to keep my weight off and keep losing weight until I lose 100 pounds that the Lord told me to lose. And I honor you, Lord. I honor you in it In the gym, I'm thinking about the Lord. The Lord's speaking to me as I'm working out. He's speaking to me and encouraging me to keep going. He's keeping me away from the Twinkies, right? Not that I'm a Twinkie person. I'm not really a Twinkie person. I'm a cookie and a brownie person. So don't wag a brownie and a cookie in front of my face. Please don't, But that's how it starts. You overcome an excuse, and you hit a milestone that you never would have reached. And it can happen today. You can start that process today. And you don't have to go through the I Don't Know workbook and the Overcoming Excuses workbook by yourself. You can come and become one of my clients, and I can work that with you. It's an emotional process. Like I said in the beginning of the last video, don't be afraid of what comes up emotionally as you're figuring out what your excuses are. It's okay that you're emotionally connected to those excuses, but what's not okay is you living in your excuses. You got to exit that place. You've got to be like a drill sergeant with yourself and be like, no, this is not the best you can do. You can do better. You can do more. Yes, you can. You can go harder. Let's go. Because you need to be able to do what you love for the rest of your life. And in order for me to do what I love for the rest of my life and have the courage to speak to you right now, I had to go to the gym 52 times. 52 times. I don't know, maybe it was day 52. Maybe that's what it took. But what is it going to take for you? Everybody's is different, okay? It may not be gym, it may not be health, it may be I just don't know if I'm qualified. Get qualified. Back to the I Don't Know workbook. That's what we ask, right? What is your first question, what is your destiny? What do you believe you're led to do? What are you led to do? What have you told all your family and friends you're interested in and you want to try? You want to go to the military? Right? That's where it starts. But you're not qualified to go to the military. So you know what you got to do? You got to get fit. You got to get physically fit, or you'll fail that exam. You'll fail the physical. Be bowdy about what you want to do. Be serious about it. Give it everything you have. I got this advice from someone. That's how I got where I am. And I'm going to stay there by following the regimen, following the tools, following the disciplines, doing what I don't want to do. That's why I'm not a health coach. So I don't love it. I don't honor it. I don't like it. Somebody else can do that. But I'm going to help you with your mindset. I'm going to help you have a determination that will blow your mind. Because it blew my mind when I got it. Because you will always need somebody who can make a greater demand on your gift for you to go to that next level. You won't push yourself to that point. You won't. And it's no shame in that. There's no shame in not being able to do it by yourself. It's okay. I couldn't do it by myself. Weight loss and health was hard for me. I couldn't do it for myself. And I knew that about myself. I knew it. I tried with V-Shred, but I needed an in-person coach because I was too rebellious to my coach online. I couldn't do online. Nope. Wasn't going to work for me. She didn't badger me enough. She didn't get in my face enough. She couldn't keep me from eating junk. She couldn't do it. I needed somebody who's going to be in my face that I had to keep seeing every day to remind me of my goals. Everybody doesn't need that, but I needed that. Everybody doesn't go to the gym 6 days a week, but I do. People who are in shape don't even go that much. They don't, but I need to. To do what I love right now, I have to maintain that lifestyle because of what it did for me emotionally and mentally. And I've researched the effects. The stuff is real. It really does work. My coach researched those effects and she gave me that valuable information. So of course, I would have to refer you to her to get that information. But again, that's how it starts. You gotta wanna know what your destiny is. You gotta wanna know what's in your industry, who is the expert in your industry, and what do you have to do to get there. That's why it's all about becoming that. It's not about your mess. It's not about where you are and staying there. It's not about feeling bad that you wasted all these years because you didn't do the work and you weren't committed and all those things. It's not about any of that. None of that matters. What are you going to do today to change your story? See, the overweightness is not my story anymore because I'm on my way to another weight loss journey. I'm still on the journey. So, what are you willing to do? What land are you willing to conquer in your life? Is it your finances? Is it your family? Is it your marriage? What is it? You got to write down the pain points you have so that you can tackle them, overcome them, and become the warrior that I know that you want to be. So this guide, again, is for people who have already overcome the excuses and are willing to get that wallet out or your digital pay, I don't know, and start investing. Invest in that coach, invest in that website designer, invest in the branding, and invest in yourself. Invest in others, time, energy, effort, so that you can actually support others with what you know. Don't let what you know collect dust on your bookcase, right? Like these books could. Do something with what you've learned, right? And that's where you get to the next step. And the next step, right? The next episode is going to be a coupling of both of these episodes. And it's going to actually dive deeper and delve even deeper into what you will need to do to have a harvest in it, right? Because there are seasons of harvest in my business where I was like doing the work, getting clients, and getting stuff, all working out. And I'll tell you what my strategies were. I'm not willing to hold that back from you. But I need you to be serious about overcoming your excuses and not being stuck at the I don't know where to start stage. So after you've done all the work I've said in the workbook, and I'll reiterate, what is your destiny? What are you in the dark about your destiny? Make sure you research that. The next one is what should you know to accurately fulfill destiny? Write down the skills that you need to build up in, and then ask the expert in your field. And that's it. It's that simple. I made it very clear for you, but it's a start point. We would have to do the dissecting and the working and the details and the way to fit it into your lifestyle, assess where you are, give you the desire, the plan, the work, the achievements, and then we will we'll check the goal. Are we at the goal? And then if we're not at the goal, we'll evaluate why you're not there. See, all that's coach talk, okay? You're not going to know that. I just know that. But that's how you get there. It's not some random magic trick, okay? You actually have to do something to get there, right? And I hope that this took out of your mind that it just happens to all these people that you see that are successful. No, they took these steps too. They went through this process too. They had to overcome their excuse. This is my last day. I remember this woman, she was a life coach as well. And she was really broke, and she was on WIC, Women and Children. It's a government benefit. And she only had $11 in her bank account, and she needed to get money out for diapers. And she didn't have enough money to pull out. You got to have 20 to pull 20 out of the ATM. And she only had $11.18 or something like that. And she said, this is the last time. She looked at her baby. This is the last time I will never be broke again. We will never be broke again like this, Jaylani. And she looked at her son, and ever since there, she skated off to what I call the overcoming excuses workbook. What's holding me back? What's holding me back, Lord? What's keeping me behind? After that, she was like, what is my plan of action to get out of this excuse? What do I need to delete from my life? Some of you, it's TV. Some of you, it's gossip. It's reality shows. Some of you, it's food. Some of you, it's hanging out too much, partying too much, drinking too much, eating too much, whatever it is, vegging out too much by yourself, spending too much money at restaurants, you're overspending, all kinds of things. Somebody's taking up your time. Someone has your time. It's just not your destiny that has your time. That you don't have time for. That's not a priority. Got it. But she decided it's the last day. And the reason why we have been where we are and stayed there is because of the decisions that we continue to make each day. Make a different decision in the direction of where you want to be. And appreciate what you have. And embrace that. To use that, leverage that to get where you want to go. Because you're going to have to work like never before. And you're going to have to think in a different way. You're going to have to hack your brain and really change the way you perceive your life, because it's not a bad life. It's just a life full of decisions that you made that you can easily reverse if you decide to go down this pathway with someone who can guide you down the right path. Sometimes my mind is too cluttered for me to go put it on a piece of paper and figure out where to go from here. That's why I had to get a coach back in 2018, because I had no idea where to start. And there were seasons in my life as a life coach that I felt that way. It's like, man, I don't know where to go. What am I supposed to do? Go back to my mentor. Boom. Back on track. Because you don't have to live there. That doesn't have to be your story. So what? You fell down. You got depressed. You messed up. You got addicted to things. I don't know. Get back up in there. Get back up. Clean up your mess. Right? It's your kitchen. Own it. Clean it. Nurture it. Prepare it. Cultivate it with an atmosphere of encouragement. Right? Maybe we'll talk about that. The encouragement to go on in the next episode. To continue on and never give up. That's what you need. I'm telling you, that's what you need. So she said that to her baby, and this was Coach, Lisa Nichols. I don't listen to her because personally, me and her have different beliefs, so I don't listen to her anymore. But I appreciate that story because it's really personal of her to share with all of us that, man, I really don't feel that I have to be here. I don't have to be here. I can exit the place that my decisions led me to. I can leave this place. And I can go and be mentored by somebody who knows how to make better decisions than I do. And I'm going to get a coach. And that could be you right now. You're on that ledge right now and you need me to talk you out of it. Don't do it. You have 500,000 more days in you. Don't give up now. Your story has just begun. Thank you for listening.